The latest Disney Plus original movie Flora and Ulysses adapts a modern classic children's book about a girl and her squirrel, but it also cleverly has some pop culture pokes and nudges throughout to lean forward for. Fans of Disney XD's DuckTales reboot may have caught on to a special reunion in Flora and Ulysses, as some cast members got to share the screen for the first time for the new release. I'm talking about Huey, Luey, Dewey and Webby's voice talents in live action, Pudi, Ben Schwartz, Bobby Moynihan and Kate Micucci. In Flora and Ulysses, Ben Schwartz gets to trade his more typical role behind the voice booth to play Flora's father, who ventures alongside her for a fun adventure with a superpowered squirrel. Along the way, the characters meet three of Schwartz's DuckTales co-stars. When speaking to CinemaBlend, Schwartz told us how it all came together. When I was cast, Pudi was already cast as well, so Danny was a part of it, and then Lena was like, "We're trying to cast this comic book guy, do you have any ideas?" And I go, "Well, why don't I text Bobby Moynihan?" And she was like, "You think he'd do it?" And I was like, "I don't know." And so we got Bobby on, and when they were deciding for the Rita role, Kate Micucci was one of the people she was deciding, and Kate was just great, so it worked out amazing. It's fitting since Flora and Ulysses follows the daughter of a comic book writer and avid reader of superheroes and everything else one can find at a comic book store. The Disney Plus movie has audiences covered with some Marvel and DC references sprinkled throughout, but the DuckTales element is the perfect homage to Disney's long-running comic book series featuring Uncle Scrooge, Donald Duck and their nephews Huey, Luey and Dewey, which was adapted in the late 80s in DuckTales and recently rebooted for Disney Channel. Schwartz continued, "The very first time you see Bobby, he's reading a DuckTales comic, and Lena did such a good job with that stuff, layering out all these Easter eggs. I've known Bobby from UCB since I was 22 years old, so I've known him for a long time. Danny I've known for a bit, too, so it's so fun to play with these people I knew for a long time as human beings as opposed to little ducks. And that reboot is great. I'm so proud of being part of that show, I think they did such a great job." SNL star Bobby Moynihan is even named Stanlee once again to go along with the comic book store tributes. If you missed it, check it out. This is one of the very first scenes in the movie. It's an awesome little detail within Flora and Ulysses that DuckTales fans like me geek out on, especially since it furthers the franchise's hold on the young generation of today. The DuckTales reboot was recently announced to be ending after 3 seasons on the air. The show is set to conclude next month with a 90-minute finale called The Last Adventure, following 3 brand new episodes leading up to the conclusion on March 15th.